Thomas, welcome. I'm so glad to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Um, so we met for the initial intake. It's just a bunch of demographic questions, and it was a lot of information. I also gave you the packet that kind of concludes all of the things that you're going to get in therapy here. I just wanted to ask if you had any questions.
No questions right now, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, okay. So there's a few things that I just want to go over before we start. The main thing for us in this therapy and in general, every therapy place that you'll go and every counseling center that you'll go to and get therapy is confidentiality. Now, what that means is that everything that you say stays in this room and it will be completely confidential. So you can feel comfortable in sharing your feelings and your experience in this space. However, this confidentiality thing will be broken in a few cases. The first one, if you are um, kind of danger for yourself or for others. That means you are planning to harm yourself or plan to harm others. That also includes abuse of a child or neglect and an elderly person. So, in case that happens, I would need to kind of break that law of confidentiality and leak it to the people that are supposed to be involved. But in any other case, that's everything stays in that room, so you can feel totally comfortable.
Okay,
Awesome.
that makes sense. Yeah, I don't think I'll have anything like that.
Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah, there have been just a lot of cases where things were not clear about that line, so that's the line. Um, and yeah, besides that, as I said, you can feel comfortable here. We're here for you to help you feel better, recognize your emotions. We're doing a bunch of stuff here. Depends on your experience and on your the things you're coming to talk about. We'll choose the therapy that will fit you the most. So we'll see about that. Okay, let's get
Alright.
started. So, what brings you in today?
I have just been feeling really anxious, like before I have my games, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're really important to me, so I just keep working it up in my head, but I think I start thinking about it too much,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, my performance hasn't been the same since since I started feeling sick before these games. So
Okay. What sports are you playing again?
I'm playing basketball right now,
Nice.
just mostly focusing on that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So you're saying you're feeling some kind of pressure, anxiety. Is the pressure during like practices and games, or does it come before or after? Explain to me. Tell me a little bit about that.
Uh, I get them a little bit before practice,
Mhm.
but the worst is always right before the game. Uh, Once I even see the building where we're gonna be playing, I just get this like feeling in my stomach and in my head, like I don't want to be there. And
Feeling in your stomach.
yeah, it's almost like butterflies, like just some nervousness.
Butterflies are usually good. They're not good in this case. You're saying.
It's just too much to me. It almost feels like I want to throw up. Like
Really?
it's been bad.
Yeah. And does it usually happen every game, every practice, or it kind of like shifts away, comes and goes?
Um, Usually the games that get me the most are the ones like the away games, farther from home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is because I know the game is gonna be like the same, but maybe it's just the crowds or just the fact that I'm far from home. But
Yeah.
those games, yeah, I get extra nervous before them. So
So you said it started. It's a pretty new thing. You said it started lately, or you've been dealing with that.
yeah, just over the last couple months is really when it's started, I guess. But I mean, in the past, I'd be nervous before games, but just not like this. Like it's just gotten.
Worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did you, let's ask it this way, what kind of coping mechanisms or things you're doing? So let's say you're feeling those emotions, let's say you're stepping on the court, you're starting to feel these emotions. What kind of skills or coping mechanisms have you done so far to help you, or maybe you didn't, and that's also fine.
Well, when I feel it in the locker room, I'll just try to listen to music or something, and usually it doesn't happen while I play, but it's just like leading up to when I play. So even just when they're before the game, when we're just out on the court, like I'll feel it a little bit and I'll just try to breathe or just focus on playing and warming up. And that kind of helps, but
Okay. You said kinda.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't really do much because I'm still just thinking about everything in my head and like who's there to watch and like how I'm gonna play.
Okay, I want to try something before we dive in. It's just so I will get a better understanding of what actually makes you anxious, just to get a little bit more on target. So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine how you're putting on the uniform, you're tying your shoes, you're doing all the pregame stuff that are involved in the game. You have that in mind? Okay. Now there's 10 minutes until the game is starting, and you're stepping on the court, you're shooting your shots, getting warmed up, and you're starting, to see the crowd coming in, and it's starting to be loud in the gym, and your anxiety kind of starting to build up. Can you feel that? Perfect. Now let's say once I snap my fingers, all the crowd will just be gone. You'll be just there, just you with your team and the other team and the officials, and that's it. The gym will be completely empty. Okay, so here I snap. It's completely empty. It's just you and the team. Did it change anything you're feeling?
I mean, a little bit. Things got less loud, and that was nice. But yeah, I mean, there's still some. Like, I still feel like it's less pressure, but there's still some pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, the crowd noises going away was definitely helpful, but then I feel like my own voices got louder almost,
Yeah. So that was just a thing for me to see, maybe that the most disturbing thing in your feeling is the crowd, which is an external noise, is kind of an external thing. And you just mentioned that it helped a little, but it's mostly internal. And that helped me a lot to understand what we need to focus about. I do have a few things in mind, but I would like to explore your feelings a little bit more before I say those things. So you're saying that those feelings are building up before the game, and you feel those butterflies that are making you almost anxious and wanting to throw up. I just wanted to ask you, what was the last time you talked about with someone, besides obviously here?
Yeah,
Your coach, your parents, friends, teammates?
I haven't really brought it up to anyone else. Yeah, I just think that if I told them, I might be like letting them down or something, because everyone wants me to be good and play, and there shouldn't be any reason that I don't. Like, I guess, I don't know how to put it exactly. Like, there's no reason I should be nervous, I guess, to them sometimes, but.
Like, from their opinions, you say that you shouldn't be nervous because there's nothing to be nervous about?
Yeah, they say that I practice so much, and they say I'm so good and everything, but sometimes I don't play like it, and so I don't know. just makes me nervous, I guess, before games. Like I have to do well.
Yeah. One more question I wanted to ask was, so the game starts and you're feeling those feelings. Does it fade away during the game or it stays for the whole time? Practice, game, whatever that
It
performance.
when my mind is just focused on playing, I guess it goes away a little bit because to me then it's just the game. Like maybe if I have a bad shot or something like that or a bad possession, I'll have those feelings a little bit, or if I get sent to the bench after doing something bad, like I'll think about it a little bit. But when I'm just out there playing, it usually doesn't bother me anymore.
So it does fade away at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the game, practice, performance, do you feel a kind of release?
Yeah, most of the time, because by then I'm too tired. I guess just not really focused on it. So I guess it's kind of like a relief. Yeah.
It almost sounds like even when the performance event or whatever that would be a game like practice is gone, you're still having to deal with some kind of things. Is that what I'm hearing? Some of those emotions.
Yeah. After, if I don't do well, I'll still have those, but most of the time, after I play, no, I don't. When I play well, I'm not as anxious after.
Yeah. Well, you know that I've been working with athletes for almost a decade, and feeling those kind of feelings are so natural, especially for a young athlete like you. And basketball is, there's usually a lot of fans, you know, it's not maybe like other sports that are more individual, maybe like less crowd. So, first of all, I just want to validate your feelings and say that it's okay you're feeling that way. And many others, like you're not alone in that boat. Many others, when even if they have a good game and the team won, they're still feeling some kind of anxiety or stress regarding their performance. Because as athletes, and you know that the best, we always want to get better, we always want more, and we kind of have this perfectionist mindset of that we always have to be perfect, but we don't, you know. And feeling those feelings, I think I'm first of all, I'm so glad you came here to talk about those things, because that is the first stage of getting better. You're recognizing your feelings, you're coming here to talk about it, and then we're kind of starting to build up things. Now I want to ask you, what are your thoughts related to telling your feelings to your coach or your teammates or some person that you feel comfortable with? Did you think about those things?
I've thought about it, but I don't really want to tell them just because I don't want them, I don't want to get benched if I say these things.
You think you will get benched?
Well, maybe. I don't know what coach will say. And everyone else wants me to play. I feel like I kind of have to keep everyone happy. So.
But what do you want?
I don't know. I like to play, but when it becomes about all these other things, when it's not just playing and it's all about winning, that's when it makes me nervous, I guess. So I don't know. I guess sometimes I want to play, sometimes I don't want to as much. I'd rather just do something else.
Wow, these are strong emotions right there. I mean, you just said sometimes I want to play and sometimes I don't. I want to hear more about that. Explain to me, because these are very distinct. It's like black and white.
Yeah, I guess kind of like when I do get nervous, just playing, like that's fun, or just like practice can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Or just playing around with some friends, like then I love to play.
Yeah.
But when it becomes like all about doing everything exactly perfect, like for the games and for what coach wants and what everyone like expects of me, like to play well, I feel like I have to do things perfectly, and it makes me feel those feelings like of nervousness. And that's what makes me not want to play.
Mm-hmm.
When it is just overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like I want to be there at all.
Yeah.
Like it's not about just having fun anymore.
Mm. You know, did you realize how many times you said the word perfect?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So I believe from what I'm hearing and feeling from you that a lot of your stress comes from you trying to be perfect. And it plays on both sides of you trying to be internally perfect, so your performance with yourself, but you're also trying to please others. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
You said your coach and your teammates because you said they want me to play.
Yeah.
My coach, like I don't want to get benched by my coach. Like you see all those feelings that are external and internal. It's just like it turns to be like a big tornado.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, I think that we should get this perfect out of the frame. Because who's your favorite athlete?
Michael Jordan.
Okay. Was he perfect all the time?
He tried to be.
Right, but was he?
No.
Did he make
He wasn't.
100% of his shots?
No.
Mm-mm. Did he win championship every year that he played in the league?
No.
No. So I think that will also be a valuable lesson for you in life, that we can't just always be perfect, and that's okay. And in sports especially, we can't be, because there's a lot of things that are not under our control. For example, the coach's decision, the refs' decisions, our teammates, and all the like the game is just so flexible and so changing, and everything is just happening so fast. And also things that are under your control are not always going to go as you want because of those external things that are happening. And what you should remember that is a few things to think about. It first, think about the times that you do enjoy and try to stick to these times. And when you feel that things are not going right, I'm not perfect, and I'm trying to do things perfectly but I can't, go back to the things that make you joy and try to make things simple. And I would want you to keep that word in mind of simple. Okay, and I also wanted to ask you, what would be the worst thing if you would tell your teammates or your coach about the feelings that you're feeling? What the worst that can happen?
I don't know. Like I said, they might bench me, like coaches, or
And then
players.
what's gonna happen?
They might think I'm weak or something.
Okay, and then what's the worst thing about that?
Well, then they won't trust me when I do play, I guess.
They won't trust you.
I don't know, if they think I'm too nervous or not feeling well, how can I play my best? So, yeah, I'm just nervous that would maybe, like, they wouldn't want me to play, then I'd disappoint everyone. But
Okay. What I'm hearing is a lot of external things, like just so much pressure from the outside. But the first step in this, like big ladder we need to climb, you did that. You're here. You're talking about your feelings. You're sharing this with me, and that's the first step that we're climbing together, which is great. I would encourage you to think. I don't want you to take any action yet, but I would encourage you to think about sharing this with someone. It doesn't have to be your coach. You know what? It also doesn't have to be your teammate. But I would, I think that always other perspective can help us. And you also see that your teammates might also experience the same thing as you, but no one talks about it. Maybe the coach even experienced those kind of things. And I can tell you that a lot of people experience those kind of feelings. And once they talk about it, they put it out there, it's better, because you have to remember that you don't have to make things perfect, you have to make them simple first. And the outcome will not always be perfect. You know, let's even take that example. Even if your team won, you guys missed some shots that you took, you maybe did some bad things during the game, but the outcome, you won. Was the win perfect? No. You know, but it's important to see the way to the outcome, the way to like the finish line. It wouldn't be perfect.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. What do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like, yeah, I definitely need to try to keep it simple. And I have thought about telling my brother, just because I know he's faced some similar stuff. And
He's also an athlete? Nice.
Well, he was, used to be, but then he stopped. So yeah, I'd be interested to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
I think he might know, or might have some advice.
Yeah,
Maybe.
possibly. Are you and your brother close?
Yeah, we're pretty close. Yeah.
And would you say that your parents have been pretty supportive throughout your like your sports and performance and
Yeah, they've always been super supportive. Like, they always have wanted me to play and have helped me to, I guess, make sure I'm on the best teams and everything. Yeah, they've been supportive.
That's good. And how about your coach and your teammates? Because they don't know about those things.
Yeah, yeah. Coach can be hard. The teammates they're all nice. They're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, coach can definitely be a little hard sometimes when we don't do a play exactly right, or if we like take a bad shot, or don't try hard enough. It'll get kind of bad. Make us run a lot.
Coaches are unique population for sure. So would you say that if I would give you an option to tell one of your teammates or your coach, what would you choose?
My teammates.
Yeah.
Probably.
How so?
Just because we're all kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
With coach, so yeah, I wouldn't be as comfortable telling coach.
Are you familiar with acceptance commitment therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy?
Not exactly, no.
Okay, so I'll start with the first one, and that's a little bit the things that I'm thinking. Acceptance commitment therapy involves of a lot of recognizing our feelings and trying to, in most cases, just accept them, that they're just there, and trying to be less harsh on ourselves. Maybe reframe some of the harsh words as perfect and make things more simple, and just sometimes just accept, as part of the therapy, acceptance, ACT we call it, that sometimes things are there and we need to accept them, and that might be a helpful tool for you. And of course that will give you hands out at the end, and I will guide you through that. That's only the first session, second actually. But it might be just part of the treatment plan. I'm not gonna dive too deep into that because that will be the next session, but just trying to maybe make you think about it a little bit more, is that sometimes the situation is there. So let's say in your case, the anxiety is there, right? And the stress and everything. And sometimes, and there's a few techniques with like breathing and stuff, I'll show you it soon, that we just have to accept it and just let it be. And sometimes instead of like trying to be perfect and trying to always say like, those feelings are like making me crazy, and just trying like messing up with your own head. You actually said that your inside voice is almost getting louder, and just let them be. So that's the first thing.
Okay.
What do you think about that? What kind of emotions?
Yeah, I
What
mean, you
about it?
said just like letting it be.
Yeah.
It made me think a little bit about back to earlier when you said like, oh, what if the crowd wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
That just like kind of simplifying things, making it like less loud, as I said. I think that could be helpful.
Yeah, I'm not jumping into the action phase with you so much because that will be just in further sessions. But again, I just wanted to present it to you. So the other thing is cognitive behavioral therapy. Now, this is mostly related to reframing your thoughts. So let's say you're thinking, you have a thought in your head, right? That would be, let's say, I'm anxious, right? And then the feelings that are involved with that, or let's say you say the thought is I'm gonna miss that shot, or I'm gonna do so bad. The feeling that it creates is anxiety and stress, right? And then your behavior comes as just low performance, right? Poor performance. And we're trying to reframe that cycle. So what if you say, I might not make that shot, but I'm gonna do the best. Or not even say I might not, but just I'm gonna do the best I can to make that shot. And if I don't make that shot, that's okay. I'll try again. And then just from me saying this, how would it make you feel? Compared to the first one, I'm never gonna make that shot.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think it's kind of hard to do that sometimes for me.
Why?
I don't know. It can be hard to like think about things like that, but I guess I'm not like always thinking about it. But maybe now that like if I do think about things like that, or like try to notice to think of things like that, maybe that'll help. I don't know. I can give it a try.
But I'm trying to ask you now is that you're saying to yourself, I'm gonna do the best to make the shot. Would you think? Do you think it would cause the same feelings that will create anxious and stress feelings, or much less?
I think it would do less. That's why I
Yeah.
think it could be helpful.
Right. So what I'm trying to show here, I'm trying to show you like an actual cycle that is in front of us.
Okay.
Is that once you reframe those thoughts, it will reframe your feelings, and those feelings will
Okay.
possibly, hopefully, will create different behaviors and
Okay.
outcomes. Again, we'll do it next sessions, but I just want to explore more about some of the internal things that are happening in your body and your feelings, and just a few questions that will also help me to know you better and to kind of get my route to treatment for you better. Is that from a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe in yourself?
I guess like a 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
Okay. I would love if you could explain why a 6.
Like, I know most of the time I believe in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I can do well. But yeah, it's just some of those times where I think that I have to do better, or, other people, care about this, like that I do well. That puts some pressure on me, like,
Mm-hmm.
and because they can get mad when I don't do well, and
Okay.
I always know it then, and so I don't believe in myself when that happens, and even though it doesn't always happen, like even just those times I get anxious, I don't believe in myself as much, but for the most part I know like I can do well. It's just when I feel pressured to do even better, I don't believe in myself as much.
Okay.
I guess if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm rambling
Yeah,
too
it
much.
does.
But
And what do you think you need to do in order to believe in yourself more? I'm not saying what I think, but I'm asking, what do you think you should do, or can do, or thinking about doing? That can help.
I think, yeah, some of what you've kind of said, just trying to recognize when I'm starting to have those feelings and
Mm-hmm.
try to think about things in a different way, or you know, just be mindful. And I know you also mentioned a little bit like just trying to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are things that I could do that would help.
I want to cycle back to another question. What happens if you're not gonna be perfect?
Mm.
What happens? What's gonna happen?
Yeah, I guess I'll just be disappointed in myself.
Okay.
Other people will be disappointed.
And then? So
And
why?
then they don't care about me as much, I guess.
Okay.
It's hard to say, but yeah, I just don't think they'll care about me as much. Yeah.
You feel that they won't care about you as much if you're not gonna be perfect.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I've never fully thought about it like that,
Okay.
but
Was there a time where you did not perform perfectly and something really bad happened with your teammates or coach?
I mean, not really. Coach could get mad. My teammates might say something like it's a joke, but not really. Or I don't know. Even sometimes my parents would get mad. Like,
Okay.
and they wouldn't be mad at me, but they'd just be mad. Like in general, they might be mad at the coach or
About like the situation, maybe.
yeah. But yeah.
Okay. And I want to also cycle back and remind you that, you know what? I want you to create a frame where you think about Michael Jordan and how he wasn't perfect, but he still succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to try to create positive emotions regarding yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then how can others? And that would be the first thing to explore and to think about, and how it kind of affect your performance. And related to that, a similar but a bit different question. How much do you believe in yourself off the court? Means not in practices, not in games, not in anything related to basketball. Let's say school, life, friends, outside basketball.
Outside of basketball,
Mm-hmm.
I mean everything's pretty good outside of basketball. I'd say probably like an 8 or a 9.
An 8 or 9 compared to 6.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference there?
It's just, I guess it comes from that anxiety. Like, I want to do so well, as I said. Yeah, just that anxiety makes me think, you know, while I can do well, I don't always think that I can. And
This is
it
on
just
the
makes
court
me feel, yeah,
during basketball.
it just makes me feel less confident.
And outside of basketball,
Yeah,
does it happen to you, those feelings?
No, usually
Mhm.
not. Maybe once or twice before like a big exam, but
Okay.
nothing the same.
And what have you done when you felt those feelings? So when you say those feelings, what feelings again?
Yeah,
Okay.
just like the feelings feel like my heart will get fast
Mm-hmm.
and my stomach will start to feel upset, like
Okay.
those butterflies. And yeah, I just start to think like, oh, I can't do this. But in those other situations, usually I'm able to tell myself like, it'll be okay, like
Okay.
it's fine. Yeah, I don't know what it is with just basketball. Why that it's harder to do it feels like.
So it sounds like you experience those feelings outside basketball. For example, before a big exam or any kind of situation in your life that you had to perform, and you could calm yourself down. Is this right?
Mm-hmm.
What other things did you use in order to calm yourself down besides telling yourself what you just told me?
Yeah, I mean there was that. Try to take deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
That's helped.
Okay.
Yeah, just some small things like that.
And what have you done in basketball, going back on the court, to make yourself feel less anxious and more calm?
I mean, I try to breathe.
Okay.
That always doesn't help because I might be out of breath or
Because you're like running and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
or it's just even harder like because my chest will feel tight too, like
Mhm.
to take those deep breaths. Yeah, but that's pretty much the only thing I've tried with that. I haven't tried some of that like rethinking stuff
Mm-hmm.
yet, but I'd like to try that, see how that goes.
Okay. For me, it raises another issue that you have the tools to, of course, I mean, an exam and a basketball game or practice, it's not the same, but it's a bit similar in the way that you will have to perform, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, like, how to use those skills when it comes to an exam.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you take that? Because you know how to do it. Why don't you take that and apply it
Yeah.
to the game and to basketball and the things that we're talking about, performance.
Yeah, I think I should.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm gonna try to now. I think it could be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we are kind of wrapping our session, I know it was a lot, but it seems like you're soaking everything in. And again, I want to remind you that it's like very second session, so we'll work on those things. I just wanted to kind of start thinking about those things. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, or just arise a topic that we'll talk about next time, or feelings that you have, thoughts?
No, I mean, thank you. I think everything's been super helpful. We'll see how it goes. I guess there's a big game coming up.
When?
Not tomorrow, next day.
Okay.
So, yeah, we got to travel out of town.
Oh.
And I'll see how that goes. Maybe try some of what we talked about.
Yeah. Well, you have that time on the bus, and I don't know how far you guys maybe take a flight, or I don't know.
Not too far.
Okay, not too far. To think about those things, and I would like you to explore those emotions more, and the things that I said, and just come with any thoughts you have for next session about what we talked about. Maybe some questions will arise, so bring that to our next time, and we'll talk about everything.
All right.
Awesome. Good
Thank
job.
you.